Just testing and see if you can hear me. Hello. You know, I feel a bit like Blue Peter there. Hello, kids. Although the people that I'm speaking to aren't kids. So, how's it been lately? What you been up to? How you been getting on? That kind of stuff. You might notice I've been quiet. I've had a break. There's only so much that you can get bombarded with bad news until it fucks your head. Simple as that. I've even had a little break from Discord because even though they're all your good mates and all the rest of it, and you love speaking to them, we all tend to dwell on what's going on at the moment. And too much of that can be bad for you. So we've got to learn, all of us, to take a break from... I almost done a Tommy there. Just kidding. Yeah, so we all need to take a break from what we're doing and go out. So I've been doing just that. One day I took a day off and just listened to 80s music in the cab, so that was all right. And then after that, what do we do? Been out on the bike, been out with friends, went out last night. Not so good. It was an 80s night. The music was all right until she ran out of 80s and started putting on 90s, but hardly anybody went out, and it was like, oh, fuck that, so we came home. So really, should I have done a live stream, or should I have taken the risk? It was probably better to take the gamble and see if anybody was out. I think they all showed up after we went home. I don't know if that means anything. Who knows? People go out a lot later nowadays, and if you're old like me and you're used to getting up at 3, 4, and 5 in the morning, then staying out all night is just not really an option. Also, I don't know about any of you. If you eat, myself, as soon as I eat, I want to go to sleep. And it's so overwhelming. So you got to fight through that. Well, we did. Anyway, that's another thing. And why is it, as soon as I decide to talk and go on air, my nose is as itchy as fuck. Whatever. So there we are. Depression. Some of us have it, don't know. Some of us have it and do know. Some of us have varying types. Some of us all sorts, right? And I've been looking into this lately because even though we've seen the videos that I put out, I've been plodding along thinking, yeah, it's okay. There's nothing bad as such. It's nothing great. It's all very bleh. But apparently that is a thing. And the amount of you that messaged back telling me just how you felt was, well, it was massive, unbelievable. And we're all going through it, it seems. And I don't think it's just, if we want to put it like that, our side that's going through this as well. Although people who are all right with what's going on aren't going to be as affected than people who can see through it and go, this is bullshit. So that's a thing. Having a mint. Anybody else ever do that? Just take the time to have a mint. But anyway, so I looked through the comments. A lot of people said that I need to get out there, get a pet. I can't have a pet. I live in a rented property. They don't allow it. So that's out. Apart from the fact, if I took it to work, I'd probably get done for abuse because that thing would be bouncing around in the cab, poor bugger. And although I do know people who drive tippers that do have dogs, they seem to get used to it. The balance must be like that. But anyway, so that was one of the options. Get out there and have a walk. Yeah, probably should do. Somebody said, get a motorbike, get a younger missus who's an absolute mistress. And I was like, yeah, not sure about that one. Got the motorbike anyway. Somebody was also saying that what you need is to break the cycle. It's almost as if your emotions are switched off, right? They're all very nothing. And what you've got to do is do something out of the ordinary, something that gets the adrenaline going quite badly, then they might kickstart all of it back into effect. So I bared that in mind. We have a plan for that. We actually started doing a bit of it yesterday, and it was fun. I have to say, I came away with a satisfactory, happy feeling. So that's good. Anybody in here can manage to suck a mint right to the end without chewing it? Put one in the comments. I bet it's not many. I can't. So that's kind of where I've been. Because if my mental health is fucked, I can't do anything on here. I can't do anything with YouTube. But you do have to take a break. Some people are saying get a hobby. We're working on that. I have made some new friends. Well, they were kind of like people that I've known for a while, but we've become friends. So the reason I'm doing this now and not at midday is we're going banger racing. Apparently a couple of lads from the village are up there racing. So we're taking the old Love Boss up there, the Transit, still got it. And we're going to go and watch a load of people wreck a load of old cars. Sounds immature, but it is good fun. And also, while I was cleaning the vehicle out, realised that my rear tyres need changing. They're not bald, but if you leave your tyres too old, by the way, something of interest to you might not know, especially if you've got a commercial vehicle, you're not allowed to have tyres on, I think it's over 10 years old. But if you get cracks in your tyres, the theory is this: A, they're illegal, but B, the water will get through to the metal ply inside it, rust that'll split, and that's when your tire gives out. So be careful, check your tires. Did you bite ice cream, Simon? I've been told that makes me psycho. These teeth don't like hot food or cold food. Really cold, really hot. It's just horrible. I know, and he might be watching, by the way, although he might be on the road. We have a bloke, Callow, that makes a cup of tea at night in the cab. By the way, this is off the charts, right? Leaves it, waits until the morning when it's cold, even with the skin on it. Oh no, I don't think he has milk. Does he have milk? I'm not sure. And then drinks cold tea in the morning. But anyway. So getting back to the mental health. If you're suffering yourself with isolation, if you're suffering with depression, if you're suffering with anxiety, if you're suffering with ADHD, if you're bipolar, if you've got any type of mental health problems, right, don't be ashamed, right? Because I think most of the planet has, right? Some are diagnosed, some are undiagnosed, some can be honest, some can't. If you have some form of mental health problems that are getting you down, not stopping you working, not stopping you being a human, but getting to you, put one in the comments. Let's see how we do. Be honest, people. There's no shame in it at all. All right. I'm going to take the piss now. That's why I find out I'm just followed by nutters. Just kidding all, right? Because I'm the first to be on it, about it. Hello, Banksy. Seen you there. I haven't been looking at the comments enough at the moment because here we go. See, the ones are coming in. No shame at all. There you go. Now, the other thing about this, but us all being honest, is we'll realize we ain't on our own. This is part of the reason people go, "Oh, you're brave for bearing all." No, I'm not. I couldn't give a shit about if people want to take the piss, say for instance, and they say, "Oh, look, he's got mental health." Yeah, and what? What are you gonna do? Who cares? Whatever. And being able to just accept that as a thing, right? It's half the problem. But for me, when I put stuff out here that I'm going through, it's the comments. And it's the comments that everybody else says, I'm going through that too. In the early days, it was me that needed this, that realizing that I'm not on my own, that I'm not on my own in thinking what I'm thinking about what's going on out there, that I'm not on my own thinking being negative, not on my own feeling depressed, feeling anxious, whatever. I mean, we'll talk about anxiety in a minute. And if I don't get around to it, somebody in the comments remind me. So, one thing I have noticed, I think my speech is out at the moment on here. I'll have to look at that. Hey ho, never mind. Can't do much about it. It is what it is. It's probably going through a load of filtering. Let me double check that a minute. Effects. Dun dun dun. Echo. Is that on? No, it's all off. So, nope. Who knows? It is what it is. Let's be honest. You don't really need to look at the face too much. I wouldn't anyway. So yeah, going back to what I was saying, the comments then everybody else was commenting and realizing they just weren't on the Jack Jones, and this was what built the community. People realizing that they're not on their own, thinking the same thoughts as me, because they were thinking the same thoughts, obviously, or thinking similar. I mean, we're not all the same, but we're all pretty much on the same page with most things, right? And it was like every one of you, and me as well, had all been brought up to think that if we thought outside of the collective, the sheep, whatever, that we were on our own and wrong, and that we should have a little think about ourselves because, you get the guilt, you get all the rest of it, and that you need to be a good citizen, and you're not being a good citizen, right? And the more you look at it, right, the more you realize that this is very, very draconian. You start to look at things like 1984 and realize that it's a slimmed down sort of less in your face version. We all have to think the same. We all have to do what the government tells us. Right, let's try that again. I don't know why, but every time that phone rings, it cuts out the roadcaster. That's a problem. And I don't know why. Now I wonder if we could do something else, because I do have WhatsApp on the computer, and I'm wondering, no, that's just too much to actually worry about right now. Okay, so we're going to have a problem with the calling for some obscure reason. What a bastard. I'll give it one more go. Dee. Right. Not having it. Do us a favor. Give us a bell, mate. Because I know he's watching. Hello? Oh. Isn't it going well? Ha ha ha. Well, that one rang, which is a bit bizarre. So I'd set it up first thing, by the way, make sure it's all working, and then the first call crashes it. Oh, well, will we try again, caller? Because I think I might have sorted it now. So we've got sound, have we? I can hear you. Yeah, audio, good, brilliant. So, and also, that seems in time again.
Audio, good.
Hello.
Brilliant. Hello there, Simon, calling in again from Norfolk.
Just one thing, if you've got the live stream playing in the background, if you could pause that a second, that would be helpful. It's just
I have paused it now.
Cool. Right.
I'll pause the sound on it.
How you doing?
You're talking about the mental health issue and about feeling good and feeling bad and everything, how we feel. As I said, I was on the late last time you were on a Saturday. One of the things that I was saying was going to the proud to be English St. George's Day celebration, although we were kettled into one little corner of Whitehall, made me feel a lot better about the country. I met people from the other side of the country. I can remember I helped two women, older ladies who didn't quite know how to get back to Victoria Coach Station and that. And so we was walking along, talking and everything. And sort of people I would never meet normally and that, just because I live in a different part of the country to them. And it was good to meet people, ordinary people like yourself and that, from other parts of the country, are feeling the same way, and they know that they're not alone. They're not feeling, that, oh, isn't everything going to pot and I can do nothing about it. The ones I'm talking about came down from Nottingham and Newark, I think, if I remember correctly. And
that's a hell of a drive.
Yeah, and they hadn't been to London very often, and they sort of knew the coach station was somewhere near the train station, but didn't realise how much of a walk it is from the train station down to the coach station. I said, you've got to walk a little bit further down to that big clock down there before you can.
Yeah, it is a walk when you get around London as well, and if you're not used to that sort of city, like I'm a little village life, it's quite fast going, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and that, and I've had to go down on various things, so I know the way round from the coach station, because so much cheaper to go by coach than try and drive in or go on the train these days.
Yeah, I mean, Base Welshman, when he used to go to London, he used to get the coach, which cost him about 10 or 12 quid, which was good money. I think he got up to about 20 in the end. But if you think about it, for me to say, for instance, get the van's cheap to run, but then you've got the pollution charge, the congestion charge, parking, and then once you've done all that, you've got to get a taxi. So
yeah, and then everything else, probably, if you find yourself you've gone through a 20-mile-an-hour limit at 22 miles an hour or something, and
or somebody clones your number plates,
fine comes in, and that. One of the other things I'd say about being that St. George's Day celebration, we were basically kettled in along the road. I was nowhere near the incident that happened up near Trafalgar, from what I gather, where the police basically set a load of people up.
Yeah, they do that every time.
I've seen online. But one of the things I did was I spoke to one of the liaison officers, who was along, with the light blue vest on.
Ah, right, yeah.
So I went up to this liaison officer politely, and I said to him, "Excuse me, officer, do you mind if I have a polite conversation with you?" And he said, "No, not at all, sir, not at all." Yeah. So I said, "Well, to be quite honest, sir," I said, "you've got hundreds of police here standing along the road in riot gear with helmets there." I said, "They've been here for hours. They're basically doing nothing all day. There's nothing going on." I said, "Don't you think that that London police would get a better reputation if a few of these officers were asked to put civvies on, to go on Westminster Bridge and tackle the scammers that is on there every day on Westminster Bridge, scamming gullible tourists out of a lot of money with the free cup trick and that? You see them online all the time doing that free cup trick. And if for anybody who doesn't know, the ball is never under the cup. It's in their hand and it's placed under the cup that they want it to be placed under when they pick the cup up. But
yeah. But they're good at it, aren't they?
But they scam people out of a lot of money doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing with these people who will do that, you may think, "Oh, I'll innocently just watch it." Well, if you're not careful while you're watching it, pickpockets will be working with them, and they'll be picking your pocket while you're distracted watching these.
In London, get it inside your jacket and get your jacket zipped up.
Yeah,
because literally, you need your phone or your cards in a Faraday cage, because they'll put this device next to you and take money off your card. They do it on the YouTube, not YouTube. They do it on the tube, and they do it on all sorts of stuff. But going back to, because this is obviously a topic for mental health, how is your mental health given the situation that we find ourselves in?
I these days am very lucky. I think probably because I've been single for a long while. I think when I was a lot younger, looking back, I know that when I was a lot younger, I was extremely shy, and that shyness held me up for years, and it took a long while for me to get over this shyness. In fact, a friend of mine, a Canadian friend who's a very highly qualified nurse, I told her this story, and she said, "You're still shy." She said, "You hide it very well." She said, "But because of my, skills," she said, "I know that you're still shy, but you hide it very well." So shyness held me up for a long, long while. But I've seemed to, I would say now, I'm over that and through it.
I've never been shy, but I have to say that when I was in relationships, I was miserable because I put them in control of me. It wasn't their fault. It was my fault for not being a man, not taking responsibility of myself. And I've turned the bloody lights off behind me. There we go. Little colours. That's nice. So I didn't have a control of my life because I was lazy, and I put it in the hands of a woman. And when she didn't do things the way I wanted it, or when I'd not been completely honest about financial situations or whatever it was, things didn't go right. And then I also believe that I was incapable of looking after my affairs, and that a woman would do it far better. So basically, when you put your trust, or you put everything in somebody else's hands that you could do yourself, you are taking a gamble. Anyway, when I became single, I managed to take care of my own affairs, which was a massive help to your mental health. I was speaking to a guy at work, similar sort of problems, and he says, "I've got the debt collectors. I've got the debt things coming in, but I'm just going to try and dodge them." I said, "You can't dodge them." I said, "They will keep coming until you get them dealt with. So you need to deal with them, and especially for your mental health, because he's got anxiety, can't sleep, etc." But you said that you weren't happy when you were in a relationship, or you weren't happy around then because of the shyness, and now you find yourself single, and I take it you're self-sufficient.
Yeah. I'm retired. Well, I go away for a long period. That's why you didn't hear from me. But I do a job that I love when I'm going away. I don't really go away for the money. I go away because I want to do the job that I'm doing, and I look forward to doing it, and I'm away to do it for the whole of the winter. So that's why I'm away for so long, and that's why you don't hear from me. And then I come back and enjoy. Well, the sunshine up in Norfolk today, so I enjoy the sunshine.
We had it yesterday. I managed to get a bit of tan. Look, see, I got a bit of tan yesterday.
Yeah, I'm fair skinned, so I have to be careful on that.
No, I've definitely got olive skin, so it just you get out there and go brown.
And the other thing is that apart from what's his name getting back in London, it's happier that people like what Danny Tomo done, organising the St George's thing. I hope that we keep this going. I've already booked my ticket to go down for Tommy's two-tier policing thing.
Yep.
On the 1st of June.
I was going to talk to you about
more
that.
People like the ladies I met at the St George's Day thing, and just have a nice conversation with somebody who thinks the same way as we're thinking.
I was going to talk to you about the two-tier police system, right? Now, I've been messaged by people who are relatives, their sons are policemen, or were, and they're leaving the system because they can't stand the two-tier policing. They can see it's wrong. They don't like it. But I got sent some footage today of it's Southern Ireland, but if they're doing it there, you can guarantee they're doing it over here and elsewhere. They're sat down in front of a few migrants that can't hardly speak the language, and they're saying to them, if you need anything, you come to us. If you want anything, you come to us. If you've got any problems at all, you come to us. And incidentally, we're recruiting if you're interested. So they're literally trying to recruit Muslim immigrants who've just come into the country. Probably half of them don't even speak very good English. And they want to put them on the police force because diversity is our strength and they got to hit their quotas. Can you imagine how these people who have already broken rules in some cases to get in, right, and lied about them needing asylum, can you imagine how honest they're going to be as police officers and how unbiased? They go and see one of their own kind doing something. Are they going to be upholding of the law, or are they going to be sympathetic? If they see somebody who looks different to them, who acts different to them, who has a different background, are they going to be fair? I mean, there's a question we got to ask.
Well, I think we all know the answer to that, Simon, and it's what you're implying. I'd be very surprised if some of them, perhaps some of them will be fair, but a hell of a lot of them won't be.
I'll see.
Just to finish off,
if I can get it. Hang on, I've got to see if I can get this one because, this one was an absolute beauty. Hang on, there it is. Right.
I just, if I can, like to say what the liaison police officer said to me when I was talking about talking to him about wouldn't these police officers be better employed tackling the scammers on Westminster Bridge?
Mm.
And he said it's very difficult to know how to police these events these days. And he said, in London, we have a hard job recruiting young police officers and an even harder job retaining them. Well, thinking about that afterwards, I thought, well, it's not surprising if you think about it. If you're a young person like ourselves when we were younger and you've got the education and everything, and you join the police force, and they tell you, to take the knee to Black Lives Matter, to stand on the street and let, I've got some sympathy for Palestine, but pro-Palestinians a lot throw rubbish at you, and you've just got to stand there.
Mm.
And then they tell you to put riot gear on because some people have flying a St. George's cross in our capital city.
Or to put it more bluntly, when they want to go out and batter white Anglo-Saxon British people for loving their country, and when they want to welcome everybody else who doesn't look like us, or unless they're extreme left-wing lunatics, and give them a free pass. Yeah, I can see that really getting on a test.
Yeah.
I'm just
you think, well,
I'm just going to play this to you.
Isn't that what?
Because
sorry,
I'm just going to play this bit to you and everybody else and see what you think. This is Ireland, right? Anyway. Let me turn that up. Fuck. What happened there? Technology, eh? 1 second. I love it. It's just going to pass over. Right, you get the idea. Basically, you just pan around and it's a room full of people who have just got off the plane, basically. And what he's saying there, sorry about the sound quality, I could have played it through, but what he's basically saying is we're now having a recruitment drive within the Garda, all right? And they're looking to take on all of these people within the room who are incredibly, if African looking, Indian looking, very, very not Irish. So that was what was going on in that video. It was a bit, I mean, I don't want to put it out on my social media because I'd just lose it straight away. As soon as I stick anything up on TikTok, I get a strike. They hate me. So I don't bother. But yeah, see if I can get a link. I wonder if, it's going to be a nightmare, not while I'm on air. But anyway, so the police system, what we'll end up with is we'll end up with all the Anglos and anybody like that either leaving or getting pushed out. We'll end up with an army of Islam in there, which is what they want. And then this army will work against us. Secondly, did anybody actually expect Sadiq Khan not to get in? Being as he won the first time with 120% of the vote, so they fiddled it to get him in the first time. Did they not think it was going to happen every other time? That guy will be in until the cows come home.
I like you, Simon, knew he'd get in. Apart from yesterday, I got false hope because Maya went and put something on about the thing being close, and that was just close in one ward. Oh yeah, perhaps he won't get in.
No,
and then he's got in by thousands and thousands of votes, and so I was, oh my God,
we're not surprised.
Yeah, at the moment, London really isn't our city anymore. When I come down from Norfolk, we have to go through. The bus goes through Whitehall and that really is the London stand bloody place. That you go past the East London bloody mosque, and
I hate the fucking fact that it's become Muslim, because I have to say I don't like Islam. I feel sorry for people who are trapped within Islam because their family will disown them, or they'll be bullied, or they're scared. I get that, right? And I don't know that Muslims ever done any positive anywhere in the world. I remember Christopher Hitchens
said to that. When I got up this morning, Simon, I still put Radio 4 on. I put Radio 4 on Sunday, and they're usually talking about religious things. They were talking about religious things. They were on about Hindus in India having problems with the Muslims and all the rest of it. And then this woman who was on mentioned about the Muslims blowing up the Buddhist statues in Afghanistan.
Yeah, because they hate every other religion. Christopher Hitchens, he said, I'm to believe that an illiterate warmonger, when he didn't go on to the part about Aisha, because, hey, it was a little bit too far, but he said, this man is the final word on everything. He said, don't talk shit. And that was it. Now, Christopher Hitchens was an atheist out and out. But when he pulled apart Islam, which he did on a regular basis, it's not too hard. But there it is. Anyway, Mel, mate, should we see if anybody else wants to come on? Because
I think it's only fair, Simon, because so many people like to come on these days. I hope a lady comes on. That's a lady from Scotland. She talked a lot of sense one little while back. I forget her name. Anyway,
no
bye
worries.
for now, Simon.
All right, you take it steady.
Again, you know.
All right, bud. You take steady. See you in a bit, mate. Bye, bye. See you in a bit. Yeah, Sadiq Khan. He'll be there until I don't know, until it becomes a one world caliphate. Having it not. How are we, dear?
I'm all right, mate. Sorry about that. I was trying to confuse you by ringing up on another mobile and then totally messed it up.
Well,
how are you today?
All right, mate. Got to go and watch banger racing in a bit. So we're going to sit up there, watch a load of, I don't know what cars they're using nowadays. I actually did see that they got a load of things like S-type Jags, taken all the engine and gearbox out of them and put a Pinto in it, like a 2-litre Pinto, moved it all the way back so you've got a lot more crushable room and use them. But who knows? So I'm going to go up there because some of the boys from the village are racing because, well, that's just village life, isn't it? So,
well, yeah, it sounds like a proper. You know what? I'm seeing banger racing around here for years. We used to have stock cars and bangers down at Campus, but
yeah, they do stock cars, vans, trucks, car bangers, super stocks. What are those other fucking things that look handmade? Them things up there, and they even do Rob Reliance, but they're a bit few on the ground now, aren't they?
You've got to be a bit brave to go banger racing and Rob Reliance.
Yeah, it's all just falling apart around you like a crack on, but they are a bit off their head.
Took the bike out yesterday.
Did it
to the MOT?
How'd it get on?
Not well. These fork wheels, and I'll quote. He went, "Yeah, take it home, drop the forks out of it, and bring them back. I'll do the fork seals for you." I'm like, and exactly how I'm supposed to hold the bike up?
Center stand?
No, it's not. It's side stand on it.
Oh, right. Well, you're a bit buggered, aren't you, really? If you had a garage, what you would do is you would tie it off, wouldn't you, against the ceiling?
Well, what I'm going to do is put a plank of wood between the engine and the exhaust and put it on bricks. Oh, good old Northern left it on bricks for you.
You're going to hold it on the exhaust? Will not crack the exhaust where it goes in the manifold?
No, there's a gap between the exhaust and the engine. So I'm going to put the board under the engine, lift it up onto bricks, and then so it's not cracking the exhaust because I can do without that. Cool. But yeah, that was the only thing it failed on. Got many advisories like discs rusted, needs new discs all round. Well, I said it'd been stuck for a while.
Yeah.
And you changed rusty as well. I went, yes, it's been stuck for a while.
So
and then he went,
a little bit of use and a bit of love.
Yeah, and 300 quid's worth of tyres. Because he said, the tyres are very close to the end of the life. And I'm like, yes, well aware. I said, before I go anywhere on it, it's going to get new boots.
So you got to stick a set of those on it, right? Stick a set of seals in the forks, which is it's quite a regular thing, isn't it? Forks going like that. And then ride it, and then the other advisories will kind of disappear, won't they? Right.
But the thing was, it was the first time I'd rode it in a while, like a long while, and it was raining. So, and I was down country lanes that were full of potholes and cars in the middle of the road.
Nervous?
Yeah, my talent sort of like was questioned.
Yeah. It's one of those things when you end up being committed into a bend, you're like, oh, I really do have to lean now. Fuck, I've been trying to avoid this.
But a car coming down a hill at me on a single track road, and I'm going up the hill very slowly, but still going up the hill, and ended up in the ditch and thinking, any minute now, I'm going to be laid by the side of this thing, looking like a proper idiot.
Yeah, I would be steady, really, really steady on the fucker thing. Just wait till it comes back to you slowly. So I went out on the bike and just learning how to lean at speed. But once you start to pick it up and the gearing down and all the rest of it, you start to get quicker. and then you went to overtake, and then some fucker decides to boot it. So you've really got to go for it because you're committed now. That was interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, got the hang of it. Just ached like fuck. I felt dead after that. Like,
yeah, I was hoping that he would say, "Oh, I'll fix the Vauxhall so we can get a taxi back."
So you had to get a taxi back.
I'll leave it.
Oh right. You wanted him to fix it, and you get the taxi because of the rain.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh dear. How long did it take him to do the MOT inspection?
Half an hour, 30 quid.
Mm.
And he is a decent guy, like, so.
So we've been talking about mental health. Yes, because that's what the stream's about, isn't it? Yeah. What do you know about mental health, dear? Nothing. Somebody's just put it in. Nothing beats a good tank slapper at 150 mile an hour. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of them in my time as well. But yeah, I must admit, motorcycling is good for your mental health because you're out there just purely thinking about the road and the ride, and all your worries.
Yeah,
getting blown away.
A lot of people go, I like listen to my music. Fuck that. I had nothing on but the engine. Somebody just said it wherever you try counter steering. I wouldn't know if I have.
You do.
There's probably a chance. But yeah.
You're leaning into a bend, you counter steering.
Well, I went down this lane that, funny enough, you can love this, because I'm going to take you down these roads that nearly killed me, by the way, but in a car, right? I should pre-warn you now, because, well, the first one I went down with my mum's car day I passed my test and wrote the cunt off. So a due sense of fear and dread before I went down this road on the bike. And they've just got repeat curves, one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Now, I went down a while back and I was shitting it. This one, yesterday, over you go, sunshine, over you go, up and down the gears, bip, and it was like, oh, I quite like this. This is nice. Yeah. Not fast, nothing like that. But yeah, you can't be depressed on a motorcycle. This is true. The motorcycle thing, I've got to say about the mental health. If your bike is up together and everything's right, and you don't take music with you, we'll get onto the music thing in a minute, right? And you've just got the countryside and that sound of that engine, which should be enough for you, you will stop yourself thinking depressing thoughts while you're on that bike. I'm telling you now. And if you can have a break in your depressing thoughts, because this was the biggest killer for me. I couldn't get out of the cycle of overthinking about stuff. And YouTube actually finished that job off for me. Because I got so busy with this, people calling me, people messaging me, I didn't have time to process depression, and it fucked the depression off. But on a bike, if you're actively busy throwing yourself, and this is another thing, I started moving around on the bike, whereas before I was solid. So, when you get in bed and you have a little shift here and you have a shift there and you shift where your feet are and stuff, doing that now. So,
and by shifting, you're more relaxed. Yeah. So therefore, it's like we told you a few weeks ago. You'll get it. The more you ride, the easier it gets.
And because I am going to be the slowest person in the pack by a long way. Right, we've already worked this.
I don't know. I'm gonna probably you'd have probably left me behind.
I'm going to be threatened by 50s. All right.
Yeah.
I tell you now, a good boy on a 125 would fucking lose me right at the moment.
I'm dreading somebody on a scooter overtaking me.
What are you doing? You're ruining my life. Get away from me. Oh, mate, worst of the worst, because this clutch has got to be changed. It's right at the end. Literally, that is your clutch, which is shit. Mm. I'm on a hill, and I've got a bloke next to me. He was parked up, right? And I've nodded, trying to be cool, because that part's fine. I've gone to pull away, and the gear, it hasn't gone into first gear. It's gone into second, because it's not going down through the gears, because that clutch isn't working well. I stalled it twice. I looked such a cunt. And then I pulled away with, like, I was like, fucking wanker. I just, go past this, embarrassing. And I cursed the bike. But it's my fault. But it's booked in for a clutch chain and the cable. So
I did that outside the bike shop, outside the garage, with other bikers looking at me, and I'm thinking,
it's a shame.
What an absolute tit.
Oh mate, it's just, and there was all these bikers that were like, if you go anywhere near Cheddar on a warm day, it's bike. There were fucking hundreds of the bastards, and they wanted me to have a little go, and I'm like, indicator left, go around me. So this mush and his missus went past, and she's like this, and I'm like,
yeah,
what? I'm shit. All right. So it's
I'm enjoying the scenery now. Leave me alone.
I'm puffering. Fuck off. But yeah, I'm not one of those that feels that I've got to try and keep up. But we are going to have a bike get together. We've already decided this. So if you're not a rider, get on the back of a bike with a mate who is a rider and come on down. Bring your missus. Yeah. And what we'll do is we'll do it later on in the year. In Weston, they do a bike night on a Thursday night. And we'll meet up probably on that night because there's going to be so many fucking bikes there. It's just going to be amazing. And
just have a long weekend.
Yeah, because what we'll do is do bike night. And then probably if you want to stay around Friday night, we'll just all go out in a piss.
Suits me, you know me.
Why not? Just fuck it. Just because the Western will be dead, right? Up until about 12 o'clock at night. So we could literally go from one pub to the next, taking over the fucking place. They'll be happy as a pig in shit. Drink to
then all the kids can come out.
Push bike night, okay, Rev? You bring that bike, that push bike. What my speed I'm doing, you probably go past me anyway, so it's no worries.
I was going to say. Nathan will give me a race at the moment.
In it, Nathan on his push bike. There'll be me and not having it, literally struggling to get out of second gear. Give me your 50, you have this, right? And we'll be fine. You know, wait, we're going to come down with people who are absolute fucking like Carl Fogarty's, in it, and they'll be like, I'll meet you there. Get the beers in. That'll be an expensive show off every time you're the first to the pub because we're all shit slow. Anyway, just a thought. Yeah, somebody said I'm going to bring a BMX.
I've actually been overtaken by Mr. Fogarty and his friends, and they were on supermotos. I was on a sports bike, and they came up at the side of me at the traffic lights. I looked and went, "How Fogarty?" Of course, why wouldn't it be?
But it will be.
With his private plate on the back of his bike, just in case nobody noticed.
Yeah.
And
do you know? I actually think it'd be funnier, right? If we were all stuck on 50s, right? Oh, trying to beat each other on 50s, in a safe environment, obviously.
You know, when I used to do the racing,
yeah.
Right. On a Wednesday evening, every track that we were at, it was ped night. So all these £1 million motorcycles out on the thing. No, you get your pit bike, you go onto the circuit, and it's a free for all.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking, because that's when you're really trying to make yourself really small because aerodynamics matter at that point, don't they?
Yeah.
And there's people like wearing nearly 17 stone because I've put on a lot of weight on it going, this isn't going anywhere. This isn't going anywhere at all. Yeah.
That you think you're doing really well, and you into Ben's, give it a fucking large one, and Valentino Rossi comes past on his scooter making you look a twat.
Yeah, you're like, git, skinny git. Fuck off. Have one of them. Yeah. Right. Somebody saying whereabouts in Weston. It's spelt differently. They were going to change the name to the way you spelled it, but it is Weston, Weston Supermare. And it's on the seafront, right on the seafront by what used to be the tourist information area. There's, I think that's where it is, down that way. So for if anybody's
asking. When's the beach race
on? Oh, mate, that would be fucking chaos.
I know. That's why I mentioned it.
Oh, yeah. The only problem with that is you go out in the night on beach race and it's punch up central. It depends actually what end of town I suppose you go to. But
I think the beach is still up anyhow on the track.
Well, yeah. If Alex is in here, Alex would know because he's that's Betsy. Because he actually competes in it, him and his sons. And it's absolutely fucking deadly to a bike. You got to change all your sprockets, you got to change your chain, and there's so much more. And literally, they're doing 120 down the beach, maybe more now, I don't know, right? And they can't see because their fucking visors full of sand. Can't see shit. I don't actually know. They're fucking absolute psychos, right? I worked there I didn't work there. I got involved as all right. I snuck in, right? Anyway, because you go over the dunes, we went, and I'm in this. I nicked one of my dad's like rubber, well, whatever it was, overalls that he would use for chemicals, which turned out to be a good thing because it had a hood on it. It fucking pissed down, right? They'd gone down the straight, they piled around, come into this bend, and they're all gone into each other. And we were trying to literally drag them out one at a time, like sidecars and fucking all sorts of other shit. It was literally, and they're fucking bonkers. They spend most of their time in the air. And then you got these bits of road like that, and you can see the back arm just doing that. And you're like, fucking loony. Absolute nut job.
It's when you're pulling them out, you expect another bike to land on top of you while you're pulling the first ones out.
They do sometimes, but you just got to take it with the cheers, mate. So yeah, fuck it. And one bloke, the bike went down, and then after the pile up, he couldn't find his bike. He was like, "But where's my bike?" I think it got carried up the fucking way. Anyway, there it is. But that's biking stuff. So if anybody actually knows when it is, let me know. Actually, I could just do a fucking simple perfunctory search because it is a good weekend. And if you're into bikes, yeah, probably even better.
It's
right. Western Supermare Beach Race. The 41st anniversary will be, where is it? The 22nd to the 24th of September. So it'd still be warm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there'll be places to camp out, whatever, if you bring down your van. I mean, some of you got to come from a while, haven't you, right? So, if you were thinking of riding it all the way down, you might want to come down the day before for the beach race, park up, because you're going to be aching like fuck, aren't you? Our get-together, if we did it on the beach race weekend, which would be chaotic at best, we'd have to look at this and how we were going to do it. Otherwise, we would do it on a... Mind you, in saying that, if I wanted to do it on a Thursday night, everybody got work in the morning, so that is not going to work, is it?
Well, it's a couple of days off.
Fuck it. Otherwise, we just do our own bike night, because if enough of us went there, then it would be like a bike night, wouldn't it, right?
Yeah.
So we could just do a Saturday night, and instead of doing a stream, we could just, or Saturday day, go for a little ride out. I could show you all the nice areas, whatever, visit some pubs and have something to eat, whatever, and then make it back. And I don't know, we'll work it out as we go. It's just a thought. Yeah. Right, he's got a van tent. Yeah. So we'll work it out. But,
I need a trailer, I think.
Yeah.
Either that or I'm going to have to go down through...
You can rent one for 40 quid for the weekend.
Good idea.
Yeah,
I was going to go down the A49 through it and come out Hereford, Monmouth, and then cut back over the river.
But if you brought your motor with that on the back, then you can sleep in your motor, because that's what it's for, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
And I can... you've already been here, haven't you? Right. So there's a car park just a bit further over the road. You know where it is. Don't say it. Right. That would be ideal.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's the thought. Right. So biking, 5 pints of scrumpy. If you drink 5 pints of scrumpy, not only will you not be illegal to drive the vehicle, you will be incapable of cocking your leg over the vehicle without doing yourself and your bike some serious fucking harm. I'm honest. It's not a good idea. No. And as a responsible adult, if I saw any of you wanker trying to get back on a bike, I'd have to stop you, because I don't fancy any of those horrible death scenes or anything like that. It's just shit. Yeah. So Savage, all crash at Rev's Clubhouse. Cheers, mate. Well, Savage, you've got a space. Fuck.
I'm sure you'll have all of that.
Yeah, he's going to wind it up and say, Rev's patch. And then we'll have a bunch of fucking Hell's Angels who go, what patch? Fuck off. Do one. Well, I got a second. Well, in anarchy and no rules. So you join a club full of rules. Fuck the rules. The rules are just don't get killed. It's pretty simple rules, really.
You know my theory on clubs and stuff like that. I'm not going to like.
Somebody just said, "Can I sleep in your closet, Rev? I promise." Yeah, nice. Yes, the accommodation thing is a problem. We'll have to sort that out. All right, nearer the time. But anyway. All right, that's neither here nor there. It would be interesting to see, just how many people did rock up. But what we would do is set a route out, and the faster people can go on ahead, and I'll be at the back, catching up.
Well, if I'm going down the 49, I could probably pick Savage up anyway, and we'll go that and run down together.
Well, yeah, Fro is on the back, right? And then, yeah, both of you come down with your bikes on the trailer, so you're halfway about. And then, yeah, because you don't want to ride all that way. No, fuck that.
No. It's I've done like big miles on the bikes before, and it just hurts you.
Right.
I'm going to Germany and I'm going to do the Nürburgring. I'm like, and how are you getting there? Oh, I'm going to ride. I'm like,
just a quick one I've got to read here, mate. Hang on a second. Oh, Rev, I can't stop feeling low and crying over can't getting back in and what's to come from Labour. I'm sick of this Islamic shit. And you be right too, lovely.
Yeah.
Right, Savage has said yes to that. He's in. So the bike's on the trailer are on the way down. Well, when we go, right? So,
well, what I'll do is I'll jump off and let somebody else ring in, and we'll talk about mental health and probably less about biking.
And your bacon sandwiches that you so lovelyly made the last time, which we'll be making you make.
Oh, don't worry. I will be going to the farm shop before we set out.
Okay, cool. No worries. Right. Well, there's enough. Actually, on the right, probably be dead by the time we got back. We'll work it out. Anyway, yeah, no worries, lovely. Yeah. Right. Well, I'll catch you a little bit later. All right.
All right. See you a bit.
I really should be getting off in a minute because I've got to go to the pub because I've arranged to meet them at midday. I think it's midday. You did message. All right, one more call. Hello.
Hello, Simon. You all right, mate?
I'm all right, mate. You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's a good one. You're having the mental health thing and that. Yeah, that message you just put up on your screen. We're all different. I wouldn't cry over it, but I haven't felt good since he got voted back in. Thank God I don't live in London.
Yeah, right. But that, I'm afraid it has, 1 second. Go to Shadow, cruise around Somerset, Wiltshire. Yes, good idea. There we are. So I just highlighted the comment. What happens there has an effect on the rest of the country. So it's important to all of us.
Of course. Yes, of course. But maybe not. Well, yeah, directly and indirectly. Yeah, I get you. Yeah. Yeah. I just can't believe, right, there is no way that we're going to change anything in this country by the ballot box.
No, well, when they own the machines and control the ballot box, and it's just an illusion. How do you get a man in by 120%? That's 20% of something that doesn't exist. There has never been 100% turnout, right? So we know it's bullshit. In the same way that Biden getting in, we know it's bullshit. So we know now that voting doesn't make any difference. What will make a difference, we can't talk about, all right?
Yes, of course.
The thing is, at the moment, the people who are in positions of alleged power, the only people they fear are the people that have the evidence of them doing whatever they've done, and the ones that blackmail them and get them to do whatever it is they want them to do.
Yeah.
When people of the country have become that disillusioned, that angry, whatever it is, that they will turn violent, and that's the way it happens, right? In any country, all right. I'm just predicting the future. It's not something I want. Nobody wants that.
Throughout history.
So what they're doing at the moment is they're changing the policing, right? So that it will be predominantly from the people who don't care about us, don't like us, and all the rest of it. So they'll have no problem in enacting all sorts of terribleness. But the people who are in power at the moment, they have to fear the public more than the people that have the corruption over them. Now, I won't go in any more detail than that, and that will all happen naturally, like it's happened in every other country around the world when their people have been shit on for so long by the ruling elite. Now, I have never known a time that the ruling elite have made it so obvious how much they despise the little people and how they want to do all sorts of stuff to make their lives miserable, take them out, and do all sorts of stuff like that. So we know that's the case. And as you say, voting won't make a difference, which kind of makes us all feel shit. Here's the other thing. It's a bit of an oxymoron. You know what?
Yeah, I'm jumping at the bit. Do you know the first thing that went through my mind yesterday was a lot of people waking up where I live. A lot of people within my
constituency, yeah.
Well, yeah, are waking up. People are seeing this more and more, but I thought maybe because I think the world's full of strawberries sometimes, that people would maybe vote a different way. But there is people waking up.
Can I say to you, they probably did. If the election system's being rigged now by computers, then it is a thought, right? My locality, people didn't go out and vote Conservative, so the Greens got in. All right. Now I truly believe this, and the Greens, or the left, are going to love this because they'll go, "Oh, I just can't accept democracy." Well, nor could you when you thought Trump got in. But I actually believe that if people vote in the direction that the system wants them to, that will go ahead anyway. And they'll, and who's going to come up and say, well, actually, that was an illegal vote, when actually the people of this area, most didn't go out and vote, and the only ones that did were the Green Party, so they got in. I mean, you can't contest it. It was democratic, albeit not very good. So I think that when around the world this happens and they vote in the ones that, people like us wouldn't want in, but because fucking London's full of lefties, isn't it? So they're going to get Labour in, aren't they, whether you want it or not? So when that happens and people vote Labour in, naturally, then you've got all the evidence to back up the fact that there was no corruption there. And look, but I actually think that when there is a thing with people voting the wrong way, then the system takes over, the computer-generated system, and takes care of the problem. And in some places, as you saw in America, big bags of shopping go missing, if you know what I mean. There were people who were walking around with all of these ballots and destroying them, right? We know it's true, right? Somebody's put here, Khan has only ever apologized to the Jews. I find that interesting. What do they call that? I'm probably not actually going to go down there, but yeah. So if we don't vote, we're fucked. If we do vote, we're fucked. But if we stop voting, we're fucked. And I can understand why that would make people very not optimistic. However, if we stop voting, we lose the right to vote. They'll stop it totally. So we have to keep it there. But we want, at some point in the future, a democratic and an open system. Fuck knows how you're going to do that, by the way. But what we have... go on.
But then touching on people's mental health, everything from when I was a child, coming through the system, going into the army as a boy soldier, spending 15 years in the army, coming out, having kids yourself, doing things, all of a sudden within 10 years, all my values, all what I believed in is all now predominantly from the establishment and local councils and people like that, is now all my values are now completely wrong. And that affects me, you, the man in the street, of a certain age. Probably if you're over probably 32, coming up to 60, you're going to be scratching your head thinking, I don't know which way to go, I don't know what to say, I don't know how to go about things. Like I'm told that, there's only 4 or 5% Muslims in the country, but
bollocks.
If there is...
Bollocks. That's fucking, that's bollocks.
It's rubbish. I mean, I live in Solihull, which is 7 miles outside of Birmingham, and the whole of Birmingham is downtown Baghdad.
Yeah, and look at all these hotels up and down the country that they're kept quiet about. Every one of them's ram-packed full of immigrants. Most of them are Muslim.
Yeah, of course.
So we're being lied to.
It's not 5%, it's probably 30%.
And what are we going on? Figures from 5 years ago, whatever they've decided to pick out of thin air? Yeah, we've been invaded, mate, and I'd say it's 15%. Maybe more.
Yeah.
So we're fucked. But there it is. This is the darkest time now.
Every echelon of society, the civil, like, you look at the Tory party, they are the disgrace. They didn't want Brexit, whatever. But even if you get a good Tory that wants to make a difference, he has to go for the civil service, which is absolutely infiltrated with traitors.
I would,
Yeah.
if say, for instance, there was a coup and we took over, right? Just making this up, right? The first thing I'd do is arrest every one of them within the civil service. I'd arrest everybody in government. I'd arrest all the high up police and the army, and then I'd question every one of them in the same way that they questioned people over in Northern Ireland during the Troubles, right? Until I got what I wanted out of them, and then I would find them guilty of treason, and then deal with that appropriately. And unfortunately, our country would be in an almost sort of state of chaos at that time. But what else are you going to do? You know, and you would have to put people into positions very quickly. Then you'd have to get computer analysts in to go through the computers and realize just how fucked they are and how illegal and all the rest of it. And we would end up going without services for a while. But fuck it. Any sort of misery would be worth it if what came out the other end would be better. I'd also make sure that 99.9% of our politicians were white, right? And I would bring, I'd bring the church to heel. I'd go through all the leaders of the church and done every one of those cunts for paedophilia if they had done it right. And I know this sounds mental. I'd sooner have an African happy, clappy, singy fucking minister in the church making people happy than I would some drony little fucking noncy fucking wrong'un.
Absolutely. And you have touched a nail there, mate, because you see, the way the system is run, it's all about paedophilia, whether it's Pakistani or English. It all comes together in a big melting pot. And the more you get down that rabbit hole and you actually see what's gone on, no wonder they want to suppress us and lie to us and beat us down with the two-tier, because we all know about the two-tier. Well, I mean, I know Tommy's doing a thing about it. Yeah, bless him, and he's done his best. But you know what? No one... It's almost as if the sky's blue today, but they're telling you it's red, and if you don't fucking listen, you're gonna get it. And that's it.
An interesting conversation would be if Cromwell hadn't let the people in that, of course, or the people that are linked to the banking, to all the rest of it. How would the UK have been without Cromwell? This is the question.
It's a good question. It is a good question.
But anyway, look, I have to wrap this up because I actually have an appointment with the pub.
Yeah,
and
I know, yeah, you've got to go to the pub. Yeah, you're so lucky.
Well, you know, I fucking worked my bollocks off all week, and I didn't go Friday night, and I was very sober last night, and so I'm going to go and have a couple of pints, watch the banger race.
But are you sure, though, that a couple of pints is good for your mental health?
2, yes. 22, probably not.
Anyway,
right?
Look, I'm not going to get too downhearted. No. We have to think positive and think of a good future where maybe I can go back to when I was in my 20s and have myself an SLR. You never know.
We can't go back. Nobody can ever go back. You can only go forward, but we won't talk about that either. Anyway, I will say thanks for calling in, me old mate, and you take it steady, all right?
And yeah.
See you in a bit. Right, I'm ending this stream now, and I'll say thanks for joining in. And if I get back and I'm not drunk later on, we might have another go because, hey, we're off tomorrow, kids. Ha-ha! So thanks for everybody for tuning in, and I might see you later.